we've seen everybody at least once today, and now we're gonna get our last individual matchup, getting ready to set up for finals. That will be TNT on the blue side on the left with I almost said Fall Guys again. No, Team Unknown on red team on the right.
All right, all right, all right. First ban, Nautilus, good play. Warwick, not sure why.
That is a Shazbot champion.
Shazbot champion. Shazbot's in the top lane.
He
The
is.
Warwick doesn't go into the top lane a whole lot. Draven, that makes sense. We've been seeing a lot of Draven. So is that Draven because they watched last game, or is that Draven because they remember the first?
I think it's both. I see no reason why it can't be both.
Probably both. So it's like we don't want to deal with that. We want to get Skarner, good ban. Skarner's very strong right now.
Agreed. And that
As
goes
you
back
said.
to what I was saying is he's just too strong. Like they took that when they do redesigns, they want to shore up some of their weaknesses, but I really think they overdid it on Skarner. Like the way you beat Skarner was he was a tank who only hurt you if you were close enough to get hit with his E. Now they let him throw a rock. He's super tanky and he can go through terrain. Like you removed every weakness from the champion. But that's all I'll say on that. Varus locked in for how could you?
Yeah, so there's a lot of bot lane pick and bans and bot lane control coming from the first start of this early part of this draft, coming from Team No Team, and I'm interested to see who they pick for the support for that, since they seem to really want to lock that in and see what they can flex around for their jungle or mid.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to wait until it is their turn again to pick to express my opinion. And the reason I'm going to do that is because it has a lot to do with place. Never mind. We're ready. I was going to say we could see the Taric, the direct 1-2 steal away from Team Unknown, but never mind. We're going to go very quickly through the jungle and the middle. Kha'Zix locked in for Thors and Cassiopeia on Venom.
So we're seeing a lot of burst, and Thor's Dragon is gonna be piloting that Kha'Zix in the jungle. That's Thor's Dragon loves to play those bursty champions to get in and just annihilate, delete somebody off the map. So he's comfortable going in and making that happen. We're gonna see if Team Unknown lets him.
Pyke has been taken away. I respect that ban. If we were kind of joking around a little bit earlier when we saw all of the OPGGs. I got a brief look at the first two, and there was quite a lot of Pyke being played, and
yes.
it made me laugh really hard. But the Ornn locked in for Bear. This is his other pretty safe pick. Right, I think we've only seen Bear play 3 champions. It's been Malphite, Ornn, and I can't remember what the third was, if there even was, if there is. But I like him on the Ornn. I think it's a great champion.
Yeah, and even like last game, Bear didn't do a bad job last time. Held his own in a losing lane and like kept up as best he could that entire time. So. On a more familiar champ, not sure who he's laning against just yet, but it's going to be fun to see him shine a little bit more this game.
Absolutely. Mid lane bans coming out of TNT, taking away the Orianna and the Akali, probably champions that do well into the Cassiopeia, which I don't think Akali would, because once she jumps into that fog, you just throw down your W and then she can't move.
Yeah, that pool is so hard to move around in. It's so big too. Like the W would cover almost the shroud, the entire shroud.
All right, that's going to be the lock. What's that?
How could you pick Snar?
Yeah, that's going to be a trade up to Shazbot.
But easily. How could you pick Gnar?
That's pretty funny. Uh-oh. And this is what we didn't see in game number 1. The Shaco has been locked in for Twerp. That is one of his champions. Again, we were talking about that one a little bit earlier in the day, but I want to draw attention to the Rek'Sai pick here on the side of Team Unknown. Rek'Sai hasn't been very popular recently. I know that they made some changes to her relatively recently, trying to get her back into the rotation. They were talked about it on the dive, how she used to be played when she was just purely a tank, and you would use that original ultimate to fly out onto the map and just farm faster. You remember that?
Yes.
But
Yes, I
yeah,
do.
they made a few other changes, supposedly bringing her up to playable playable status. And watching Rek'Sai versus Kha'Zix is going to be interesting because Kha'Zix wins most 1v1 fights. So I wonder how that one's going to go. They don't fight one against each other in the jungle very often. Like that's not really a thing anymore. But I don't know. It's just interesting to see the Rek'Sai. I love the champion. I
Yes.
think her design is really, really good. She's a lot like Zac and Fiddlesticks and other champions that have really unique gank paths. Jarvan being another one, because that tunnel can be so useful in what looks like random ways.
Yes. So fun fact on this Gnar with VG Shazbot, 100% win rate in ranked this season with 0 kills.
With 0 kills.
That is one game in ranked this season with Gnar. So statistics are fun to play with sometimes. But yeah, so
Absolutely.
we're gonna see just how great this win rate is on our Shazbot. Just put a little bit of pressure on our teams here.
And one more piece of background. We know Shazbot really well. We talked about it and said that same joke earlier. So it's not hard flame. He's a good sport.
The let's see, I as much as oh goodness, I need to study up on Milio a little bit more. Because like he's got some decent healing that like roams around and helps you out, but I don't see
Yes.
him played often enough to really understand what he's trying to do.
So his Q is a big disengage tool. It knocks back and deals damage and everything. It's actually really funny. I watched a YouTube video where someone played Emilio mid. His Q has insane AP scaling, and you can basically clear the entire back three minions with half of an item and maxing it. But who was he playing against? He was playing against Echo. He was playing against Echo, and every time, no, Silas. It was Silas. Every time Silas jumped forward trying to land the second part of the chains, he would just kick him, and it completely interrupted the entire combo, and it dealt really silly amounts of damage. So Melio wants to increase attack speed and range of his marksman and knock away attempts at engaging on him.
You know, and then compare that to what Shaco's trying to do in the bot lane, just being an annoying little twerp. Oko.
Well played. So that's what's fascinating is the Melio was picked really, really early, and Shaka was picked at the end. But Shaka wants to go in and fight on the marksman. Luckily, he can do it while invisible, so maybe it'll be a little bit harder for
Yes.
Melio to counter it. But if he uses that Q on the Shaco, he won't be able to use it to stop the Varus from following up. And so that's another
And
thing to consider is how do you do those engages?
and I what I'm thinking what might happen is some Shaco roaming
Mhm.
up to mid lane, try to put some pressure on there, and because Varus has a lot of that long range poke, he can like farm under turret pretty well. The passive he's got can help pick up some of that extra slack while Shaco goes around and tries to do something else, and then he can all of a sudden appear back in bot lane
Mhm.
and they can delete somebody. So it can be interesting to see what might happen through some of these players as we load into the Rift for our game 3 of our Swiss rounds, our final game of Swiss rounds before we go into the top cut. This will help decide, or this is going to decide
It's going to
who is
decide.
going to go into the next round against the Fall Guys. The Fall Guys have clinched their position into the finals, our best of 3. So it's going to be whoever wins this is going to have that rematch and have a full series to do it.
I think both teams have a lot to prove with this game, right? Getting into the finals to redeem their performance earlier today. Team Unknown, maybe a little bit higher stakes as they are former champions, but TNT looking to put up good numbers against the other brand new team. And so the narrative around this match has a lot to do with not only these two teams, but the champion waiting for them in the Fall Guys.
Yes. Now notice Death and Calavir have switched back to their original roles that we're used to seeing them on.
Mhm. I think that that is a wise choice. And I don't think Death did poorly. Neither did Calavir last game. But there were a couple of things you could really draw attention to as points, really to prove where they are stronger in these roles. For example, Calavir was much safer in his positioning, and Death was able to, he got caught a lot, like you were
Yes.
talking about. But then Calavir also, I think, expected to be dealing more consistent damage than he's used to on a burst mage.
Yeah. And that's very different kind of play styles and when you want to move forward and when you want to stay behind. And most of the time, as an ADC, a base rule of thumb is you just stay as far away as you can. You attack whoever's closest. It really doesn't matter if it's the tank or not. There are a few times where you're going to focus somebody down, but you just need to throw out that damage.
Speaking of throwing out damage, we've had multiple trades here in the middle lane already. Death and Venom.
Yeah.
Sorry, he's new to my vocabulary. Thor's Dragon is in the middle lane. They are going to push Death away. Kodo Draco's in the wings. And that's going to be just a drive-by. Nothing really big happening.
Well,
Bear
definitely.
has to flash
Pretty
away.
low health Bear.
Shazbot, he might be able to make this work, but on the bottom side as well.
How could you?
dare
Also
How could
very
you?
low.
Yeah.
How
A
could you be
lot of
very low?
fighting everywhere. Good fear there from the Shackle Box. They are able to secure the cannon, and that's really important in these early parts of the game.
Absolutely. If we can get the items up, just start to see some of that. That level 3 now. They're going to keep that pressure on this turret. They're hoping to get a plate. I don't think they can quite get it in this wave.
No, they won't get it this wave. It'll be close, but just not quite enough. Melio doesn't do a lot of damage unless he builds ability power and maxes his Q. But his auto attacks are very low, and he doesn't have the item to do it. But up on the top side, the Gnar versus Ornn matchup is actually pretty Gnar favored, as we see here with the Ignite and
Speaking
First
of-
Blood.
That's gonna take him out. The very good, like, engage, but too low
We got
health
the
to
root.
make that decision.
I'm actually really surprised he didn't go for that one.
Yeah, the Shaco being able to get him off just in time. Here comes Rek'Sai.
Kodo Draco throws out the Void Seeker. Twerp manages to block that. Oh, Ward is taken down. And how could you? Just doesn't bother trying to move, doesn't use summoner spells. He knows he's going down. That's going to be the root from the Gravitum. Hiroro picks up that kill. Another great dive from Team Unknown.
3 autos and a handshake, and they walk out pretty easily from there. Yeah, don't burn your flash. You're way too
Counter-engage.
low. There is there's no way you can go. You go up, there's a wall. You go left,
Counter-engage
there's a
in the river.
Rek'Sai.
Oh, Thor's missed the jump over the wall. Otherwise, that would have been a dead Rek'Sai. They were trying to set up a pincer.
Yeah, can't quite lock down Rek'Sai that easily.
That was actually super sad to watch. I saw him cast the jump. You could almost see flash forward from the Cassiopeia. Venom trying to get the damage down onto Death. That's an empowered Q. It is not enough, but he gets out by the skin of his snake. Or by the snake skin.
I see where you're going for. I don't think it quite landed.
Oh, it didn't land. But
I'm
you know what?
sorry.
Neither did the second half of the Q. So
That's fair. It was an interesting choice to flash into the root to try to get that extra damage, because like you can also get that extra Q damage. Like you land the Q and then you just hit WWW a lot.
I think
Or
the
E.
flash was just mistimed, in my opinion. What he was trying to do was, as the root landed, move where he stopped, right? So he could be close enough to continue casting while rooted.
Yes.
And so Death, he mimicked the flash. That's what happened. You can look at the timers there, and they are exactly even. So he saw it coming and flashed with it.
Yeah. So very smart play, and they both come out. Let's say their farm is like exact even. So this mid lane is like very evenly matched, as well as like the skill they're trying to express here. Very cool to see. Bot lane, just slow pushing, getting that farm, getting that damage from Team Unknown.
Well, solo kill up on the top side. And this time it was Bear versus Shazbot.
Bear against Shazbot. Yeah, even a bit even, just a little bit more swingy.
Right. And this is what's interesting. I've talked about it a few times. Oop, never mind. It's Thor's Dragon versus Kodo Draco, but we just talked about it. Bear has the ability to join in. Venom gets the kill onto Death. Thor's Dragon has his flash available if he needs it, but he doesn't use it. This game is already just crazy. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah. They're in the tunnel trying to see what information he can gather as Gnar comes back. Not quite going to be able to pick anything up. Just reset lanes. Oh, the root!
Into the root. Calavir is going really, really far in onto How Could You. Twerp trying to get some damage down to slow them down. The box fears them, but it doesn't do a whole lot else. Calavir takes an arrow, but that is about it.
And so an arrow to where?
To the knee, of course.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Gnar is one of the most fascinating champions to talk about in terms of matchups, because he should win most matchups against tanks, because his W deals % max health damage, gives him movement and attack speed. So he should usually win those. Where
With the Conqueror.
Exactly. So where he tends to lose is actually... Oh, never mind. We're going to talk about that in a second. Do we see the ultimate? Oh, he flashed away.
Wow.
Bear was able to flash away, and the minion got in the way of the boulder toss. And that's what I'm talking about, is in Mini Gnar is where you punish him. Oop, we're going to have another fight. That's going to be Venom caught out. Kodo Draco finds him first. The bot lane has roamed up. Thor's Dragon is here, but they are not fast enough. Death gets the kill onto Venom. Slows are to disengage the fight. How Could You? On the run. The fear will stop the engage. No follow-up, and Team Unknown don't get anything back.
It barely breaks the leash before the root comes out.
Ooh, that was rough. And now Kodo Draco versus Thor's Dragon. There is going to be the knock-up, I believe. Nope, Twerp did not flash. He just jumped. Ultimate from Rek'Sai to dodge out some of the damage means that Kodo Draco comes out ahead on that kill. Thor's Dragon goes down. Death chasing Twerp underneath the turret. He only has like 80 hit points left. Kiroro going in underneath the turret. Has to use the summoner heal. He makes it out alive. Ignite down onto Death. One more turret shot should take him down. He's down to like 60 health. One more tick, and it is not enough. Death makes it out alive as well, but in comes Venom. The Cassiopeia deals a lot of damage, throwing down the Miasma. The ultimate does not land. Does he have the damage? He gets the first Q. That's one kill over to Venom, trying to get it down onto Kiroro. He is not close enough. Calavir pokes him off. In goes Venom. He has the water walking. He's dodging out almost everything, but Kodo Draco helps secure the kill with Calavir.
Yeah, trying to get that double kill as revenge for going down early in the fight, but being a little too greedy. Calavir has a lot of health to keep him off the other two. Able to pick up one at least, but technically you picked up one for 2 of your own deaths. So the decision was I had a very high risk, high reward, but the risk was a little too great, it turns out.
Indeed. And Aphelios is one of those weird champions. I personally never know when to fight him. Like, I know the red-white don't fight trick. And there we go again. The flash forward to try and keep landing damage. But Death is able to get out of there. Shazbot versus Bear. Bear is unable to knock him up. That's the stun into the wall. Isolated damage coming out of the Kha'Zix means this should be another kill. Thor's Dragon gets his first of the game. And top lane gonna keep pushing up on their side.
The kill on the Kha'Zix helps get some more of the Kha'Zix passive strength, which is gonna help.
I also like his choice in item here. Ooh, Death, able to dodge out just enough with the help from Kiroro. But now that healing pool is following him. Kodo Draco sneaks in the brush, and there it is. They gank the snake. Thor's Dragon now has to leave the grubs. He's unable to pick those up. That's going to be all 6 over to Team Unknown.
That's going to help a lot. We're going to see a lot of turrets start going down now, especially with very solid lead in Team Unknown 11 minutes into this game. And yeah, let's see, what does Team No Team try to do here? You want to try to get more of that strength from Varus. We have some good picks to try to take down with the enhanced arrow. Shaco's trying to make play in the mid lane. He's working his way back down to bot right now because Varus is back there.
And I like the roaming from the Shaco. We already talked about it in Champ Select, but I think that is definitely the way to go. He is so wily, and especially if you have the water walking, you should be able to get everywhere you need to very quickly. I like the miasma placement there. It stopped further engage with the tunnel from the Rek'Sai. And Venom, but he got too close. Flash forward into the knockup. Ultimate does not land. Kodo Draco goes into the ultimate. He jumps forward. Kha'Zix is here. Does he have enough damage? Isolate is not there. He was just barely too slow, even with those evolved boots. Flash forward, almost gets enough. Death gets the empowered W. He's going to heal, and they will pick up the kill. Death gets Thor's.
Oh, Thor's doesn't quite have a completed item to be able to get that kill. Shazbot jumps in, gets a little bit of damage on Bear right as the Gnar Megaform runs out of time. So good use to just get a little bit of damage out of that while your timer's down.
And that's
goes down.
That's how that matchup goes in Mini Gnar.
Yeah.
Like I keep getting interrupted when I have this point because PLC games are crazy, but what really hurts Mini Gnar is he is one of the weakest champions when he's in the mini form, and I'm still not going to be able to finish the thought because here's Kodo Draco flash away early because the tunnel is there. He just needs to stack up the ultimate. He needs to cast a spell. He is alive. He does not have the buff, but it is just enough.
Tips the hat as he walks away from certain doom. Very nice.
Anyway, you engage really hard on the Mini Gnar. He can't do anything.
You can't talk about that. You have a fight.
It's another fight. Calavir flashes into the trap, into the clone going down. And now Calavir is dead. Kiroro bounces how you... Dude, you know what? I was thinking Calavir was playing Varus. That's how iconic that champion is for him in this tournament.
Varus got taken away from Cal.
Yes, he did. All right, Death gets hit by the poison. That means the Twin Fangs are coming in really hard. Bursts back with the fire. Oh, but that ultimate gets the stun. That's a lot of damage coming out of the Twin Fangs. He's get the ultimate W, and that means Death makes it out with the help of Kiroro.
All right, so about this Mini Gnar.
That's how you beat Gnar, is you have to catch him when he's in Mini Gnar form. You just pop him really, really quick, and it works
Death
really
taking
well.
putting a lot of damage onto Thor's.
Nobody wants to hear my Gnar.
Nobody wants to hear your Gnar facts. Death just
Nope.
wants to cause death onto Thor's dragon and just walk away.
I feel vindicated because Brizabelle in the chat says that she also... The Varus is Calavir, and as his wife, she is allowed to, make that comment and all of that. She would know. She would know who it is.
She would know. She'd be aware.
Absolutely.
So about this Gnar.
I don't think I want to talk about it anymore. Although it does seem to spark action. Anyway, yeah, you don't fight Gnar when he's close to the bar. You fight him when he's Mini Gnar because he has very, very low stats. So Camille, Irelia, and champions like that are really... never mind. It's an ultimate down onto Calavir. He gets rooted, but it is not quite enough. Flash away from How Could You? Thor's Dragon stops on a tunnel. Ultimate from Kodo Draco is enough to pick up the first kill, but now Thor's Dragon and Twerp are there for the kill, the return. Do they have enough? That's a lot of damage. Thor's Dragon just needs to leap, but Kodo Draco is very quick. He makes it out for now. Twerp following him very quickly, but he has that Echo Sense. Kodo Draco knows he's there. Death now might be in some trouble. Thor's Dragon tries to pop him. Venom is on the backside and is all alone. He's going to get hit there with the Calibrum. Little bit of damage is not enough from Venom. He's going to go down. Miasma just to stall just a little bit of time. He has Conqueror ready. Can he deal the damage? No. Calavir takes the kill.
That was a lot of good stalling though from Venom just to help other people reset. So props to staying alive for so long.
All right. Shazbot versus Bear.
So you don't want to fight Gnar right now because he's big, and that's when his stats are big.
Exactly. He gains health, resistances, and damage, and it doesn't matter because Calavir gets a lot of damage down.
Goodness, we really aren't going to finish this thought.
No, we're never going to finish the thought because every time I try and talk about it, it starts something, and this has happened like 8 games in a row that I've tried to talk about this. So I'm never going to talk about Gnar again. Or if you want to hear what I have to say, hit me up on the side. I am at Juhadre on Discord. Anyway, back to the game. Teleport here for Bear because Kodo Draco is already here. Mini Gnar is going to go down very quickly, and that is it. Death flashes but cannot escape the claws.
So much happening that we barely able to see everything. It was top lane and mid lane all at once. Team Unknown does come out ahead at 2-1 and Kodo Draco tries to start the Rift Herald, but Thor's Dragon is going to try to delay that a little bit.
Yeah, but now Thor's has to be careful. He knows that they're there, and that he knows that Team Unknown are coming. They have their vision. We saw them put it down. And that is going to be Rift Herald for Team Unknown. And this is why I like seeing Bear pick champions like Ornn, because he understands that as long as he just keeps playing the game, he will be useful later in the game.
Yes. Yeah, especially on an assassin. Assassins fall off late unless you know how to like work around and get your picks, and they work best on Summoner's Rift to be able to work around different terrains. And
Bear is going to go down here, but will it be a trade? Bear is really low. He dodges out. He actually makes it away. Shazbot is going to ult everyone out. Calavir now sees Thor's Dragon. Shazbot is going to leave him to die. The alcove is in enough. He goes into the invisible form and he jumps away. Kodo Dragon wants to go in underneath the turret. He's going to get the knockup onto Shazbot, and I stand corrected. Thor's Dragon leaves Shazbot out to dry.
Honestly, misplay by Shazbot.
How could you? Gets a kill onto Death somehow. Kodo Draco lands the Void Seeker and will take him out with the, I think it's called Void Assault is the name of the ultimate. But on the bottom side, that's a kill. This means that the Herald is going to crash. Nope, don't crash it. Oh, that was a waste of the Herald. It was going to go down so easily anyway. But second charge for the Herald. Don't hit the Ornn terrain. There it is. This is going to be inhibitor broken at 19 minutes. Look at all those
third crash.
Oh my gosh. It will indeed be the third crash. There it is.
That's
huge damage
that's the
onto the
crash.
Nexus turret. They got a fight down here. Shazbot is low. Shazbot is dead. Teleport from Death. Twerp is going to jump away. He's underneath the turret, but it's not enough because they have the damage. And now it is Thor's Dragon and Venom up against the entirety of Team Unknown, except for Bear. Bear wasn't able to make it out alive that time. But inhibitor down on the top side. Nexus turret down on the top side. Death going to get away with the assistance of the Melio. How could you? Trying his best. Here we go. The next bit of the fight. Thor's Dragon is caught. He almost gets the assassination, but Calavir flashes forward and takes him out instead. How could you? Goes down to Kodo Draco underneath the turret. Venom knocked up by Kodo Draco. Damage coming in from Shazbot. He wants to get in and get that Mega Gnar. Twerp has sent in the clone. No, he tricked them. He tricked them. That one was the clone up on the top side. Beautiful Shackle play at that. Death going to slow down Venom. Jumping in is Shazbot. He has no flash. He's going to throw in the boulder. He's going to ult back the Kodo Draco. Take a lot of damage. He goes down. Kodo Draco is just crazy this game on the Rex side. He has the ultimate. Going to jump onto Twerp. Does not get feared. Flashes out of turret range. And now another chunk down onto Thor's Dragon. They are just pressuring super hard on this top side. How could you get the kill onto Death?
Feels like we've been here a year. Get out of the base.
We got him flash forward for the damage and the root or the grounding. It's not quite enough. Bear says, guys, there is a way to win this game instead of just fighting, and he's gonna go take down the mid lane turret. But how could you? Says, nah, bro. We want this to keep going. We love our games. So turret is gonna go down finally. Warp will get the clone out, and he'll get the fear, right? Oh, doesn't actually fear anybody. And now he goes down. Kodo Draco goes legendary. Do we see the big multi-kill here? Kodo Draco already has the first one. Shazbot goes into Mega Gnar. He has no flash. He Gnar's back, trying to get to Kiroro, but it's not enough. Kodo Draco is legendary again. No multi-kill, though. Kiroro on the backside. He has to be really, really careful. They've got grounding down onto Bear. He makes it out and jumps away. Kodo Draco on the other side. He's going to try and help push this inhibitor. Getting some Void Mites on there. They will take it. There are no Nexus turrets.
Nexus turrets are down. 2 inhibitors are down. Very easy play. Take the Baron and just siege bot lane until you win.
Absolutely.
That's how you would do it if you were to do it quote unquote properly. But if you get a win, you can just run down mid and take the Nexus.
Exactly.
This is I'm not even upset that Team No Team tried to keep fighting that. It's just they could have used a little bit more cohesion to like stay back. But like they're already in the base. You have to try to shove them out. The fact that Team Unknown was able to stay for so long is just they're so far ahead and they keep
in goes Venom. They're trying to get something.
Yeah. I don't know
There's
about
Kodo Draco. Kodo Draco is in the front line. Shazbot, oh, he ults him out into the red buff pit, but he still goes legendary, taking the first kill onto Thor's Dragon. No one on Team Unknown has died yet. The 1 for 0, Kodo Draco looking underneath the turret, wants to lend the Void Seeker and get the ultimate. How could you is trying to stop the engage. Death goes right onto the Nexus. He's gonna pop that Edge of Night, and they finally decided it was enough. Team Unknown go in onto the Nexus, and they will take game number 3.